Hi guys, it's Legionero back with another video. And yes, I have on the same shirt if you watch my scrunchy video. I have on the same shirt. It says sewing is my happy place because it is. I'm realizing more and more lately that sewing is my happy place. And I think about this more than I think about anything else. All right, so welcome back to my channel, and I would like to welcome all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. So today I'm doing a little experimentation. That seems to be the theme here lately on the channel. One of my older videos, I did a bucket bag. And I showed you step by step how to draw out the bucket bag pattern, how to cut the fabric, how to sew it, and all of the things. So today I want to take this bucket bag pattern and I want to kind of spruce up the bag a little bit. So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can spruce up the bag, add different elements to it, which could maybe end up making it a whole different bag. Who knows? But yeah, just want to take this simple, easy, straightforward template and then do some modifications to it and make a cute little bag. I will link the video on showing you how I draw out this pattern and cut the fabric and everything. So just in case you need the measurements or anything like that, that will all be in that video, that bucket bag video. But once you get your pattern done and you cut out your fabric, you can come back to this video and I can show you the different modifications. I've already cut my main fabric, which is going to be denim. And the reason I'm using denim is because I don't have to interface it. So I am going to use denim for the outside. More than likely I'm using a cotton cloth for the inside, and for that cotton cloth I will add some SF101 to it just to give it a little bit more body. And I will also cut out some Decoville Heavy. You don't have to use Decoville Heavy, you can use a foam. There's another type of interfacing, I have to look it up. But I'm doing that just for this this together, just for this base bar part, just to make it a little bit more sturdy. And I will put that measurement in the description box for you, so you'll know what measurement I use to make that, to cut out that Decoville Heavy, to just make the base a little bit more sturdy. But yeah, I'll more than likely use a cotton cloth for the lining. And the bucket bag pattern I cut out on the fold. And when I draw out the pattern, I put fold here on the video. So I cut out the pattern, the fabric pieces on the fold. So this is the main piece cut on the fold. And I'm also going to cut the lining piece and the interfacing piece on the fold. And once I do that, I will come back and I will start to show you different ways that I am going to add some bells and whistles to this bucket bag pattern. All right, so if this is something that you're interested in, definitely please keep watching and I'll be right back. Okay, so like I said in the intro, this is an experiment. I have not done anything beforehand, meaning I haven't practiced on this bag. I haven't done a demo and practice. And then this is the final project. This is me experimenting as I go along. Once I get everything finalized, I will definitely have that information in the description box below. I will have all of the measurements. I will have all of the tools and everything that you need listed there, so you'll have a reference guide on how to make this bag. And I will also definitely link the video on how to draw out the bucket bag pattern. So far, this is what you need. You're going to need your fabric, of course. I'll say at least 2 yards. You may not use it all, but I say, you know, better safe than sorry. So 2 yards of your main fabric, 2 yards of your lining fabric, 2 yards of interfacing. Now, I'm using denim for my main, so I'm not going to interface that with anything, but if you're using a cotton cloth, you may want to use a fusible fleece for your outside. For the lining, I'm using an SF101, and also for the base of the bag, just to make it just a little bit more sturdy and firm, I am going to fuse some of this Decoville Heavy, and this measures 8.5 by 4, and that measures the bottom base of the bag. I have a zipper. My zipper is longer than what I need, so I will say you need at least a 7-inch or longer zipper. You're going to need 3 magnetic snaps, 3 1-inch D-rings, 2 1-inch strap sliders. I have 2 1-inch swivel clasps. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I'm going to try to figure out how to make this without using these, but I may actually have to use these. Not sure yet. All right. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need some scissors. You need scissors for fabric and paper. Don't mix your 2 scissors. To draw out the pattern, of course, you need pattern paper, but you'll see that in the other video, in the original video. See what else you're going to need. Of course, your sewing machine, coordinating thread, and I think that is it for right now. But again, you'll have a detailed list in the description box below once we finish up this bag, or once I finish up the bag and edit the video. All right, so I have already cut out all of my fabric using my template, and here's my template again. So I've cut out my lining, I've cut out my main bag, I've also cut out and fused the interfacing that I'm using for the lining, and I also cut out my Decoville Heavy. I have cut out my pockets. One is going to be a zip pocket, one is going to be a slip pocket on the inside, and these measure 7 by 14 inches. I've cut out and ironed my strap tabs. You're going to need 3 of these, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I always cut my strap tabs 4 by 2.5. All right, and I've also cut out my strap, and I've also went ahead and ironed that together, and all I have to do is sew those together. And I cut out 2 straps. These straps measure 4 by 42. You can make your straps longer. I didn't want to piece together straps to make a longer strap, so I just cut them 4 by 42. All right. Your strap tabs, you're going to take them, right? Here's your shorter edge, here's your longer edge. You're going to fold the longer edge in half and press. Fold your 2 shorter edges to the center where that crease is and press, and then fold in half and press. All right, and you'll take that and the strap to the sewing machine, and you'll sew down both edges. All right, so here's my main bag. I'm going to take my Decoville Heavy, and I'm going to place it here. Right, this will be the base of the bag, and like I said, this is just to make it a little bit more sturdy. And you want to make sure you have 1/2 inch on both sides, because that's your seam allowance. All right, so that's why I cut it 8.5 by 4. All right, once you get this in place, I'm going to just take it to the ironing board, and I'm just going to press this until it's fused together. The Decoville Heavy has like a shiny side here. That's how you know that that is the glue side. You got to look real good at it, and as I'm moving it around, I can see that the shine on it, and I know that's the glue side. It's not like regular interfacing where it has a bumpy side and the smooth side. You got to look for the shine on it. All right, so I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have fused the Decoville Heavy to the base of the main fabric, and I decided that I would add some purse feet. This is my first time adding purse feet. I've never done it before, so I decided that I would do it for this video. So I have a purse feet ruler. I'm not sure how well you can see this. I have a purse feet alignment ruler that I got from sewsweetness.com. I will link that in the description box below for you. And I just use this as a guide to where I wanted to put the purse feet. So I'm using the 1-inch mark. I just lined the 1 inch. Do it this way. So what I did, I just lined the 1-inch mark here. There's a cutout circle here. I just aligned it 1 inch, and then I just used a friction pen and just made a mark there. And I did that for all 4 corners. All right. So my purse feet, they come with a washer, and it has 2 prongs on here. So I'm just going to take the washer, and where I made that dot, I'm just going to line it up with the center of the washer. I'm going to make some marks. And that's where I'm going to use my seam ripper to make some slashes. And I have 4 purse feet, so I have 4 markings. It's kind of like installing a magnetic snap. And once I have these installed, I think I'm going to lightly fuse some fusible fleece, so the prongs won't rub against the lining and poke a hole in the lining. All right, so I'm going to take my seam ripper, and I'm going to make small slits. I'm going to start small. You can make a smaller slit bigger, but not a bigger slit smaller, so be careful. Right, and I'm going to flip this over to the right side. And I'm just going to place the prongs through the slits that I made. And again, if you need to make your slits bigger, by all means, go ahead. I may need to. And like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I don't know if I needed to do it now or wait, but we'll see. So I'm going to fold one of the prongs back. I feel like I got butterfingers. There we go. And then I got one in, then the other couldn't get the other. There we go. Oh, where's mine? Did I lose my prong? I lost my prong, y'all. I'm gonna find my prong. Here it is on the floor. I'm just going to place the prong on, and I'm going to use some pliers and just fold those back. Right, and you can use some fray check on your fabric just so you know, to ensure that your fabric doesn't fray. But for video purposes, I'm just gonna skip that part. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the other 4 purse feet, right? And then I'm gonna find some fusible fleece and just kind of fuse around this a little bit, and just so it won't mess up my lining. Alright, so I decided against the fusible fleece, and I just took some masking tape and put it over the purse feet prongs. Alright, so the purse feet are now installed. Right? That was super easy. How come y'all didn't tell me? Alright, so next thing I'm going to do my zipper pocket. So I'm going to turn this to the right side, and I'm going to grab my ruler. This is the right side of my fabric, and I am going to take one of my lining pieces for the pocket, and I'm going to measure in. I'm going to measure in 2.5 inches. I'm going to make a mark, right? And I'm going to measure down 3 inches. Right, so over 2.5 and down 3 inches, and that's where I'm going to have my zipper pocket. So my zipper pocket is going to be 5 inches. So I'm going to take my pocket. My zipper pocket is going to be going down this way, not across this way. So it's going to be down this, going down. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure down 1 inch on my pocket lining. And I'm just gonna make a mark, and this mark is just so I'll know where to place my pocket. All right, so this is my over 2.5, down 3. I'm going to take my zipper pocket, and at that inch mark, I'm going to place that inch mark where the 3-inch mark is. Right, just going to place it right there on top. I'm going to take some pins, and I'm just going to pin this in place. And that 1 inch I marked is just seam allowance for when I get ready to complete the pocket sewing. All right. All right, so now what we're going to do, take our ruler, and our zipper pocket, like I said, is going to be 5 inches. So what I like to do, I like to find the center, and I'm starting at that 1 inch mark that I made. I like to find the center of my zipper pocket's width, which my zipper pocket is 7. So 3.5 is the middle part, and I like to make a mark, and that's how I know how to draw out my box for my pocket. All right, so from here we're going to go 2.5 to the left and 2.5 to the right. Right, that's 5 inches. Then we're going to go down 1/2 inch and make a mark on both ends. And then we're just going to close up our rectangle. All right. And we're going to measure in 1/2 inch and make a dot in the center. And we're just going to draw a triangle. So from that dot, just draw a line to one corner and a line to the other corner. Right? So you made a triangle on both ends. Then from dot to dot on those triangles, you're going to draw a line from dot to dot. That's the center, because that's the line you're going to cut when you get ready to cut your zipper pocket open. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm just going to sew around my rectangle. Don't sew your triangles, don't sew this middle line that you mark, just sew around the rectangle. All right, I am also going to, while I'm at the sewing machine, I'm going to sew my strap tabs and add the D-rings. And I'm also going to sew my straps, right? And I'm just sewing down both sides. I am also going to take my slip pocket, which is your other pocket lining. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to pin. I'm going to leave an opening. Alright, so I'm going to start here at one pin, sew all the way around and stop at that pin. That will be for my slip pocket. Then I'll turn it to the right side and press it. And I will also sew around the rectangle for my slip pocket. And if I didn't say this, I can't remember, your pocket lining and your main fabric, the right sides should be facing each other. Alright. Alright, so this is my slip pocket. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. I'm going to clip my corners. Don't clip through your stitching. I'm just going to trim this down just a smidge. Make sure I leave a little bit that I can tuck on the inside for my seam allowance here at my opening. I'm going to use this opening and turn this to the right side. I'm going to take this to the ironing board, give it a good press. I'm going to tuck in this seam allowance and then just give this a good press. All right. Before I do that, let's work on this zipper pocket. So you should have sewn around your zipper pocket. Now take your seam ripper, and at the tip of the one triangle, you're going to open that up with your seam ripper just a little bit down that center line. Just to start an opening. And you're going to take some scissors and just cut down that scissor line until you get to the tip of the other triangle. My scissors are not that good. You're cutting all the way through. All right, stop at the tip of that triangle and then cut the triangle. Don't cut through your stitching. Get as close to your stitching as you can without cutting through it. And do the same thing for the other triangle. Right. Now what you're going to do, you're going to tuck this lining through that opening. So you're going to tuck it and pull it through. Make sure you straighten it out. Once you get it straightened out, you're going to take it to your ironing board and you're going to press it. All right. So you pull it through. Of course, when I press it, none of this will be showing. So flip it over here and you're just pulling it. And trying to straighten it out a little bit. This denim is very tough, but you're gonna pull it and straighten it out so you can't see any more of your lining as best you can. I can never kind of get it right. Now, if you find that these corners here, you can't get it through, see if you can cut a little bit closer to the edge where your triangle was. It doesn't bother me. I like to have that little element of like a little pop of color anyway, so that doesn't bother me. Anyway, I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, I'm going to take this to the ironing board, give it a good press so I can press my lining flat. And also my slip pocket. Alright, so let's work on our lining. The only thing we're doing to our lining is adding a slip pocket, which is the slip pocket you've already sewn together. So just open it up, doesn't matter what side you put it on. So what you want to do, find the center, fold it in half. You can mark it with a pen or just kind of get a crease or chalk, whatever works best. And also find the center of your slip pocket. Now don't be like me and sew the wrong end. I sewed a slip pocket in a clutch and I had the opening going towards the top of the bag instead of going towards the bottom of the bag. So make sure you find your opening and turn it the right way. Find the center of your slip pocket. And measure down from the center 3 inches. right? And that's where you'll place the center of your slip pocket. Right, place that here. Grab some pins and pin it in place. Make sure it's straight. And make sure you grab enough pins, because I didn't grab enough pins one time and my slip pocket was so crooked. And I was trying to sew that bag to sell it. And then I realized my slip pocket was crooked. Alright, so you're going to take this to the sewing machine and you're going to sew down one side, across the bottom, closing up this opening, and back up the top. Now, this is where I would put my label. I would just kind of tuck it in here so it would be in the, so I could sew it in with the seam allowance. But I actually found another iron-on label, so I'm just going to iron this on. But usually I would stick it here on the slip pocket so that it would be sticking out just a little bit and you can see my name. All right. All right, I have my slip pocket sewn. And I can remove my pin. So again, I just took it to the sewing machine. I sewed down this edge across the bottom, closing up my opening, and back up the other side. All right. So now what you want to do, take your take your lining, and with right side spacing, fold it in right side spacing, right? And you're going to pin down both sides. Make sure you leave an opening in one of your sides. Leave at least a 5-inch opening so you can turn your bag. Right, so you're going to sew down one side, then you're going to sew the other side. So you'll start at the top, stop at the pin, and then come down here to this pin, and then sew down the rest of it to leave that opening. And I'm sewing at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once you have both sides sewn on your lining, now just place your hand on the inside. You're going to line up your gusset part, open up this seam allowance. All right, so I'll do that again. Stick your hand through, right, and you're going to line that up. Make sure that seam allowance is in the center, because you don't want your bag to look wonky. Pin. You do the same thing to the other side. Take it to the sewing machine and sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, now that you have your zipper pocket pressed, it's nice and smooth, and this is how it looks on the other side. Take your zipper, and you can add some double-sided tape to your zipper. That's what I'm going to do. You can use pins, but mine always bunches up when I try to use pins, so I'm just going to take some double-sided tape. I'm going to cut 2 pieces. And just going to lay it on the edge of my zipper and just press. And just peel the backing off. Right, I'm going to take my zipper, place it face down, in the opening. Now remember, my zipper is much longer So when I'm sewing this, I have to remember to move my zipper pull within this window area as I'm sewing. So what I'll do is, and this is a nylon zipper so you can sew over it. So what I'll do is I'll probably start here in the center, sew around. When I get about here, I'll reach under, unzip my zipper, make sure my zipper pull is in here, and then I'll keep sewing until I sew this together. All right? So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew around. Do not forget to move your zipper pull. All right, so now that I have sewn my zipper to the lining, go ahead and cut off that excess zipper. Don't cut your pocket. What you're going to do now is grab your pins, take your pocket lining, fold it up, make sure it reaches the top part of the pocket. You're going to pin this together and you're going to sew. Make sure you only are pinning the pocket lining. Right? So you're going to take this and you're just going to sew across and then sew down the sides. Only the pocket lining. Don't sew your pocket to your main bag. So fold your main bag back and sew your pocket. All right, if you unzip your zipper, you now have a zipper pocket. All right, we got our lining done and our zipper pocket. With your zipper pocket, don't be like me. Make sure your zipper pocket is unzipping the right way. Mine, my zipper pull should start here and zip down. It does not. But so just make sure your zipper is going in the right direction for you. All right. This is my bag, so it really doesn't matter. All right, so go ahead and grab all of your magnetic snaps. And all right, so sit your main piece aside for just a second. All right, so grab your lining. We should actually be doing this before we sew up our lining, but I forgot. All right, so like I said, this is an experiment. We're experimenting here. All right, so take your lining, and we are including the seam allowance. All right, so this is 14 across. So I'm going to find the center, which is 7. I'm going to measure down an 1.5 inches. All right, same thing on the other side. Make sure you're including your seam allowance. 14 inches. 7 is the center. Measure down an 1.5 inches. Take one of your washers for your magnetic snap. That mark you made, put that in the circle, and then make 2 lines there in your through your notches. Same thing on the other side. Place your washer down and then make your 2 markings on the side. Take your seam ripper. Always start small. You can make your holes bigger, you can't make them smaller. Grab one side of your magnetic snaps. Place the prongs through the slits you just made. Grab your washer. I always use this foam just for added protection. You can use fusible fleece if you want, but because of the lining, I only use SF101, and you're going to be opening and closing the bag, so you want to make sure you have extra protection. So I would even say fuse some fusible fleece before you put the magnetic snap, and then add the magnetic snap. Just again to give it that extra support. Make your slits again on this side. Did I say what I just did? I don't think I did. I'll tell you on this. Take the other side of your magnetic snap. Place it through the prongs. Your washer, your foam, if you are using foam. Make your slits. Take your pliers and just fold the prongs back. You can fold the prongs to the center as well if you want to. And your magnetic snap for your lining is done. Again, we should have did this before we sewed our lining, but we still got it together now. It's not gonna hurt anything. Right, so now I can set my lining to the side. Right, I'm gonna grab my main piece, and we're going to add our other elements to the bag, magnetic snaps, as well as our strap tabs. You should have 3 strap tabs. All right. So let's continue with the magnetic snaps. So on all 4 sides, I am going to measure down two inches and in 1.5 inches. So down 2 inches and over 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna make a mark. Same thing on this side. Down 2 inches and over 1.5 inches. And also on the other side, down 2 inches and over 1.5 inches, make a mark. Down 2 inches and over 1.5 inches. Right, and this is on your main bag. And while you got your ruler out, this is the front of the bag with the pocket. On the back side of the bag, find the center, which again is 7 inches. And this is where you're going to place one of your strap tabs at that 7 inch. So find a clip or pin and clip that in place. And you can do that after you add your magnetic snaps. But since, you know, we were working with the ruler and the marker, I just went ahead and did it. So now you're just going to add the magnetic snaps just like you did before. So when you're adding these, make sure you're adding, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to add the male pieces on one side and the female pieces on the other side. And I say it doesn't matter because they're still going to snap together. If you do it the opposite way, they still come together. I'm going to add a little masking tape, and I may do it with my lining as well over the snaps, the prongs of the snaps. You got all of your magnetic snaps done. Now add your D-rings, your strap tabs with your D-rings. And you know, with this one we found the center. Place the center of this at the center mark, and then you have 2 more. So what you're going to do, you're going to place one on one side. I've already placed that one. Right, so this area here, your cutout should measure 4 inches. So that means your center is at 2. So find 2, place your strap tab, and right. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to base this top strap tab and also these. Now, if you don't want your strap tabs in the bottom of the bag, you can put them here. So measure up about maybe 1.5 inches, and you can place them here on the sides. But that's up to you. You can do the sides or the bottom. I'm going to try the bottom just to see how I like it. If you are not making this a backpack, then skip this part. All right, and then I'll show you where you should add your strap tabs if you are skipping the backpack and you just want this to be a crossbody bag or a regular bag. All right, so we got our magnetic snaps, we got our zipper, we got our strap tabs. So what we're going to do, we're going to place this with right sides facing, and we're going to sew it just like we sewed the lining. Only difference is we are going to we're not going to leave an opening. We're just going to sew down both sides, and then we're going to do our gussets just like we did the lining. So just place it right sides facing, and your snaps will help you because they're lined up, or they should be at least. One of mine is a little off. So you should definitely pin or clip this. You're going to take it to the sewing machine, sew down both sides, and then you're going to do your gussets just like before, but you'll see me do that on camera. All right, so we got our outside bag done. Now, if you're going to just make this a regular crossbody bag, we're going to turn our bag to the right side. And remember, I told you to skip the part where we added the strap tabs in the bottom seam allowance. me get this turned to the right side. Alright, so instead of adding your strap tabs to the bottom, you would add them to your side seam. So you would take your bag after you have sewn the outside together, open up your seam allowances here on each side, and you would place your strap tab here and baste it here. All right, just like you did the center one, and you would add the other strap tab to the other side seam. All right, then come back here with me. Right, so what we're going to do now, your bag is turned to the right side. Your lining has the wrong side out. So take your lining. I always have my slip pocket going towards the back of my bag. So take the right side, take your main bag, place it on the inside of your lining. Right. You're going to match up your seam allowances, and you're going to pin or clip all the way around. I like to start at the side seams and match those side seams. Once you get this clipped or pinned all the way around, you're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew all the way around. Alright, so you can trim this down a little bit to about 1/4 of an inch to get rid of some of the thickness. I have a little pucker in the top of my bag. That's okay. Just make sure when you sew your lining in your main bag, when you're sewing them together initially, separately I mean, make sure your seam allowances are the same. Right, so using the opening that you left in the lining, turn your bag to the right side. Be careful. I have purse feet, I have magnetic snaps, I have that Decoville bottom, so I need to be careful turning this to the right side. I don't want to pull too hard and snatch something out. Once I get this pulled to the right side, I make sure everything looks okay. Poke out all of your corners in your lining and your main bag. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to tuck in that seam allowance and sew the opening for the lining closed. I'm going to tuck the lining on the inside of the bag. Alright, let's tuck the lining on the inside of the bag. I'm going to take this to my ironing board. I'm going to give this a good press around the top. See my little pucker? I'm going to give it a good press, and then I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'm going to top stitch around the edge. And then, I'm mad about that pucker. Then we're going to work on adding the strap to the bag. Alright, so I've added one strap already, and I'm going to demonstrate how I did it. Once I started doing the strap, I realized when I added this strap tab here at the top, instead of having it facing the D-ring going downward, I should have had the D-ring coming towards the top, if that makes sense. But anyway, because I wanted my D-ring to be facing downward, but it's not. Alright, anyway, so first thing you're going to do, you're going to take one of your straps, take your 1-inch swivel clasp, right, and you're going to go the bottom over the bar and then back through the top, right? And you're going to pull this over about 1 inch, and you're going to sew. Take this to the sewing machine and you're going to sew across, right? Take your strap and your strap tab and your strap, take your strap and your strap slider. You're going to place it through the bottom, over the bar. I always have a hard time doing this, right? Through the bottom, over the bar, and out the top, like this, right? Bottom, over the bar, top. Fold this over about an inch, and then take it to the sewing machine and sew across. Right, now that you have that part done, make sure your strap is facing with this part facing up, so this will be considered the wrong side. Make sure that's facing up. Grab your bag, and you have your D-ring here. Take the free end of your strap, and again, make sure it's all going the same direction. Free end of the strap, place it through the D-ring, right? Take the free end, bottom, over the bar, top, right? Pull. Right? Take the free end of your strap, take your swivel clasp, place it through, fold it over about an inch, and you're going to sew across. Right, once you are done, grab your strap, take your swivel clasp, and connect it to your D-ring. Right, so now we got our straps done. All right, and see how, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you in the outro. So now what you want to do, these sides where you added the magnetic snaps, fold them in, fold that seam allowance in, and snap your snaps together. Same thing the other side. Fold that seam allowance in and fasten your snaps. Right? And then you have your snap closure on the inside of your bag to make sure your bag is closed. And your bag is all done. Alright, so now we'll talk about all the pros and cons All right, guys, so let's talk about the bag. So I made it into a backpack. Get it up here. All right. We got the zipper pocket on the front. We got the purse feet on the bottom. Also added a base to it to make it a little bit more sturdy. Have a magnetic snap closure on the inside, as well as some magnetic snaps on each side. All right. So overall, I enjoyed the process of making the bag. Some things that I will change if I were to do this again. So I may actually, instead of putting, I don't mind the strap tabs here at the bottom, but I think I might like it a little better if the strap tabs were here on the side. I do like the purse feet. It was my first time putting on purse feet, so I do like that. I like the magnetic snap closure. I like the fact that it is a backpack. I don't know if y'all will be able to see this, but we'll give it a try. I feel like can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. I like the fact that it is a backpack because I love a good backpack. Also, with these magnetic snaps, what I think I would do, I don't remember the measurements I used, how far I went down, but I think that I would come over maybe about another inch, and that would make this kind of go in a little more. See if I can. I don't want to mess it up, but yeah, so it'll be, more, I like this shape a little better. So I would bring the magnetic snaps over about an inch, maybe inch and a half. That way this is it's more, cannot think of what I'm trying to say. All right, so more like that. Yeah. And then the zipper, I will probably also bring that over a little bit more if I were to bring the magnetic snaps over a little more. But overall, I like the bag. It's really cute. I carry this as a backpack. I love one shoulder type. Hold on. Close that up. All right. Yeah, I like the one shoulder kind of option for it. So, yeah. So, this is one way that you can take that bucket bag pattern and make it into something a little bit different. Again, like I said, you don't have to do the backpack option. If you just want it to be a crossbody bag, you can just add the strap tabs here on each side, right? And just make you a long strap so it will be a crossbody bag. And then this part here, I would sew it with this going down, right? So I would sew it differently. So I place the raw edges going up, so I would place the raw edge going down. And then when I sew it and flip it and top stitch, it would be going down like that, going this way instead of pointing up like it's pointing. All right, so I think that's it. I think that's everything that I would change about the bag. Another thing a zipper pocket on the back would be good, or it's like a slip pocket or something on the back would be good. But I prefer zipper pockets because I feel more confident. Oh, and I said in the video, my zipper is, I mean, I guess it's okay, but I would have preferred my zipper to start here, and when I zip it down, but my zipper pull is down here, so I'm zipping up. So I would just turn my zipper around. All right, and you got your zipper pocket here. Depending on you, you can make your zipper pocket a little bit longer if you want to. I had an extra long zipper, so I could have made this probably about another 1.5 inches longer, and I would definitely bring it over a little bit more here. Might look cute in the center, I don't know. I've seen bags that had 2 zipper pockets here in the front. That's another thing to think about. So yeah, overall, I like the bag. I like making changes to the bag and trying to do something different with it. If I make it again, I'll definitely incorporate those design elements that I said I would change. And yeah, and that will be it. And I will probably make it out of a faux leather. I have so much faux leather in my stash that I don't use. So I would make it in probably some faux leather, a different type color. Want to give my denim a rest. I say that, and then the next video will probably be done. I also want to do another tutorial using the bucket bag pattern, just to show you different ways that you can take a pattern and change it up a little bit more. But that will be more of adding, I feel like a mosquito just bit me. Don't know how it got in here. But that would be more of just adding pretty embellishments or something like that to the bag. But yeah. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you give these things a try. Hope that you learned something new. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell the next time, so you'll know the next time that I post a new video. If you make this bag or a regular bucket bag or any bags from my tutorials or scrunchies or pillowcases, whatever it is that's on the channel that caught your eye, tag me on Instagram at Legionero B Patterns. All right. So I will see you in my next video.